I'm up here at my friend Bill's property today. He says he's got a couple Ford Falcon projects and he wants me to check them out.
That beauty is inside here, Ian.
Oh, right on.
See?
That's my kind of starting point.
Yeah.
This is not anything like the other projects we've started.
Ian looked at it and went, man, this thing is nice. And I was just looking at the tailgate.
What, was it crashed or something?
No, the body's actually straight on it. There's not any rust.
This car is a time capsule. It's a total survivor. It's been sitting for almost 10 years, and it looks great. It looks like somebody just closed the doors, put it in that container, and walked away.
I had it for many, many years and drove it. It was my daily driver, and I gave the Falcon to my youngest boy.
Son got it, cruised it around, lowered it, the whole teenage experience. Basically, the car's dead in the water.
He took it to college, and he managed to ruin the suspension, cut the coils. It scrapes, it hits, it has no ride. It's still a good car. It just needs a little help.
This car's in great shape. I think you're stepping your game up, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty straight.
Yeah. Both Bill and I agreed the Ranchero doesn't need any body modifications. It's all about the suspension and the handling of this thing. The big problem with this car is that somebody lowered it poorly. Bill's idea is to kind of rehab it, make it good again.
I have a lot of parts on the property for the Ranchero. I'm hoping that Ian can use them to get the Ranchero back on the road.
Bill's talking about spicing up this Falcon pickup truck thing, and I see a Falcon van. That's a Falcon too?
That is a Falcon.
What year is this?
This is a 1962, as I recall.
That's what I'm talking about. I guess it's an early 60s Ford Falcon window van. It's a short wheelbase. Looks like it was maybe from a utility company or something. It's bare bones inside, but it's a pretty cool looking ride. I'm really thinking about that van. But Bill's priority is getting this truck set up. Well, I'm gonna go back to the shop. You put this on your truck and bring it down, and I don't want to see that yellow one showing up instead. This car is the one we're working on.
I can't do a switcher on you?
Yeah, right, yeah. You show me this one, and then all of a sudden that yellow thing pulls into the lot. I got a bunch of concepts. I've never done anything like this before, so I just got to make it happen. First order of business was to remove all the old suspension and cut out the strut towers to make room. The whole thing with this project is all the suspension's getting updated, so I'm just looking to get it out of the way. This is really exciting to me because it's going in a whole new direction. I want to get all these parts and put them together and see how it works. I sanded it all down, cleaned it up, and now it's ready for the kit. It was messy. I used the torch, the plasma cutter, the Sawzall. My job is done here. So ever since I came up here last time, this thing's been on my mind. I got to looking at the van, and I'm really into it. I think if we could fix this thing up, we'd probably sell it and help finance the Ranchero. Because it doesn't look like it's been crashed. There's a mystery somewhere in this thing, just like the other car. It's like, why is it sitting here, Bill? You're not telling me why. There's got to be something wrong with it.
I think I've had this for probably 10, 12 years. I've always liked it. It, of course, is a Falcon, too, and you know me and
so
Falcons. I bought this van from a farm up in Bakersfield many years ago, and I don't think Ian noticed it at first, but there really is some rust damage. There's a lot of these panels, I guess, that held water at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
See them?
Well, there's your problem right there. Yeah, it looks one thing from the outside, but there's a whole story going on underneath.
Right.
So all the doors are like this?
I don't think all of them. I think the driver is the worst. It just held the water over the years.
But that's kind of good because like a van that's near the ocean or something will rot, the whole top will rot out because the salt will sit in all the weather stripping and rubbers. But I think he got the opposite, like sediment clogged up any drain holes in the bottom. I wouldn't consider this the typical kind of rust though, that I'm familiar with. You see all these wheel arches rotted out. And what I'm seeing is the exact opposite. And it seems like every area that could clog up with sediment and hold water did. Just looking at this van, I see greatness. You know, it's got some issues, but I know I can work through it. This is cool, it's a total beach van. You could sell this to one of the surfer guys down on California Street for a mint. Well, all in all, I think it's a survivor, man. I think it's a good base platform to start. What about this engine?
When I bought this van, I did some motor work and drivetrain work to it, and I think it should run fine. It'd be nice to finance the Ranchero with this project, and I hope Ian's not taking on too much. Let's try to revive it and bring it back and see what it is.
It's in great shape. The body looks pretty straight. I think we could just freshen it up a little. He could make some money.
With Ian, nothing's ever too much work or too much trouble or too hard. So we'll see.
Bill loves the idea of getting rid of this van, but he's just a little reluctant because here I am dragging him into another project. So I just got to keep the pep talks going, turn these cars out. I'm locked and loaded. I'll take it down to the valley and I'll give you my prognosis. I came up here looking for an axle, but now I got a trailer loaded up with a van, another project, and I'm heading back to the shop. So here we go, project number 2. This van ran into something, and then it was repaired really poorly. The easiest solution would be to get a replacement panel, but I think I can just take this thing, reformulate it, and put it back into place. Yeah, there's definitely some issues here. So I cut this panel out, and I see an even bigger problem. Turns out the inner structure of the van is rusted out. This is your typical can of worms scenario. I was hoping I wouldn't have to get inside, but now we're in and it's a mess. All of a sudden, it ain't so pretty, is it? I'm gonna cut the top panel above the headlight and try to reform that too, but first I'm gonna fix this internal structure. I'm gonna cut this pillar off of this. Not only did I just replace this bottom plate, I gusseted it up into the floorboard. It never had this structure, and I made this bottom of the A-pillar just bigger. You see, it's all triangulated, so it just creates this big shape that's super strong. Once I got the inner structure built, it was on to straighten out the panels. So the challenge here is to try to put this back into shape. I cut it off pretty simply so I can reinstall it, but if you look at it, it's totally caved in right here. You got a nice crunch here, and then of course there's rust in this corner. But while I'm setting this up, I'm gonna give this one some action too, and maybe I could just knock this into shape as well. The cool factor about this is that you're not your typical auto body procedure. I'm gonna fire up this torch and get medieval on it. This metal piece was created in a certain shape. The only thing that changed was the collision made it into a different shape. I want to bring it back to the way it was, and that's just done by a series of heating and hammering. The whole idea with annealing the metal is to just evenly heat it so that all the molecules kind of relax. They're all shrunk up and rigid. So I'm just trying to get the whole thing as red hot as possible, then it'll be softer. This is way better than it was. The whole idea is I'm just gonna fit it into place and then continue hammer and dollying it. The main point of the collision was obviously in this lower door hinge area, and it's way out of shape. So once I get the sheet metal skin on the front looking good, it's all about the door gap. Just gonna come in with another piece of sheet metal, fit it up, so structure's back, I'm really happy with the way that this metal repair worked out. I mean, this van was not even usable, truly. So structure's back, sheet metal skin is on, a little filler, and it's on to primer and paint. I need to get the Ranchero to be a roller. It's got a long ways to go. I got this polyester style primer from Eastwood. Bill didn't have a 9-inch rear axle. He says the one that's in the car is in perfect working order. So I've come up with a plan that's just going to adapt the TCI brackets to the smaller axle housing. First thing I did was cut off the leaf spring perches and then sanded down the metal to just prep out the axle. The TCI kit is calling for a 3-inch diameter axle tube. This one is only 2 1/4. I'm gonna set up a couple steel plates and make an adapter so that their parts will fit right to this axle. There's really no concern with strength with this adapter. It's thicker material than their brackets, but really it's just about getting all the parts centered up properly. I got the brackets welded on. I'm just gonna get this axle painted and ready for installation. So you can see that this bracket is supposed to be right up against the floor, so it's just about that much. And you can see here, it's the same deal. So this is one thing that definitely needs to be modified. And the good news is that the wheelbase is proper. The axle is right above the bump stops, right where it was. So these dimensions are perfect. All I need to do is set this subframe up inside the car a little bit. The first order of business is this old bump stop that used to be a snubber for the differential. That was definitely in the way because the car's gonna ride so low. First order of business was cutting it off. Second, I just needed to drill a few holes to reposition the rear bracket where the arms locate. Once I did that, the rear fit up perfectly. It was time to move on to the front. All right, so the rear is one thing, but the front is entirely another. This frame is wider than the Ranchero, and it's deeper. I got a plan. I call it a cutting disc, a Sawzall, and a welder. Watch me go. In really thinking this through, it seems like if I just cut off a bit of the front portion of the subframe connector, I should be able to make this fit, and by boxing it in, it'll make it even stronger. With all the suspension in place, it's ready for the engine and transmission. Bill really had a concern about the transmission on this car, so we got hooked up with Monster Transmission, got a brand new, fresh transmission put in there. It's an AOD, automatic overdrive. That's what Bill upgraded this car to, and they had a direct replacement. Doug's headers, these guys obviously know what they're doing. It's all ceramic coated, super nice stuff. But they set it up so that just comes in and the steering rod clears. It's got just enough room to operate, so that's cool. It's really satisfying to get this car in an assembled state. I can't wait to show it to Bill. Last time he saw it, it was a bunch of concepts and a half disassembled vehicle. All right, well, are we ready for delivery? No response. I'm getting a chimp, that's it. You're not holding up your end of the bargain. No, I'm gonna go get a small monkey. It's gonna be way more charming. No, I'm sorry.
Ian and John have done a great job on the van. Bodywork, it needed a little more, of course, than we thought, but they've got it. And exciting today, Ian is bringing up the Ranchero. I haven't seen it before, and I'm majorly excited about seeing it. We're rolling to the lift, and I can see how the stance is gonna be. It's gonna be just awesome. I haven't really got to look underneath yet, but I'm really excited about it.
Up to this point, everything was hearsay. You know, Bill only saw the Ranchero a couple times, but bringing it back here, fully assembled, it's just cemented the fact. I think he's in my pocket. I think I got him. Let me show you what we got, sir. This isn't the Ranchero you're used to looking at. Behold, the new and improved.
It's just amazing.
coilover shocks that are adjustable. Then to not modify the floor, they put this huge, they call it a torque arm. So the top of the differential comes down through these adjustable heim joint links, so you can adjust your pinion angle.
Oh my gosh, this thing is gonna be like a sports car. This is gonna drive like a totally different vehicle.
Yeah, race car stuff. Look
You're
at
not-
this sway bar.
Yeah,
Remember your little Monte
Right,
Carlo
right.
bar? Well, this is gonna do it the right way. I think Bill was just kind of tripping out on how techy everything was.
well, you made it sound pretty simple, but
This front end was simple. This was a one-day job. The rear and the center section were a bit more challenging because I had to modify the floors underneath.
boy, this is beautiful. I've never really looked at all these fancy suspension things. Now I got one, and I can look at my own, and pretty exciting. The only thing more exciting than seeing it today, which is pretty incredible.
First thing I wanted to do is get the van and the Ranchero painted. So I took them both down to my buddy Rich Evans' shop. He's a Jedi master of the paint world.
Looks like you've been pretty busy, brother. Looks good. Looks straight.
I got a lot of bodywork time into it.
Another cool project.
Yeah, it's a 62 Falcon van, Ford.
I dig working with Ian. Every time it just inspires me to keep moving. Both of us, we have that kind of same drive, but then we bring different talents to the table.
He is Mr. Meticulous, and I am Mr. Ridiculous Creative. The main thing about Rich's work is that it's super clean. It's probably the most refined finish I've ever seen. This van was white, so I think if we go with a white tone, that's exactly how it looked. It's just gonna come back to the client looking refreshed, so.
I think it's gonna be a little bit more than that, dude.
I knew I wanted a fine finish, so I came to Rich's shop. And Rich has this paint line called Vintage Flats.
I know everybody cringes when they hear flats because it's hard. It's like walking on eggshells to get it to come out right. But I go, I got the perfect product. You know, Ian, he knows if I'm telling him something, it's gonna work. Get it in the booth. First thing, you gotta get all the dirt off.
It's time to clean it. And clean it. And then we're gonna clean it some more before we clean it again. And then he'll check it. He'll give it the white glove test. Dirt to me is something you pick up with a shovel. And Rich is talking about this dirt he's finding all over the car just because the rag is discolored. We cut the quarter panels open and it was literally like a whole farm fell out of the freaking thing. It was crazy.
A farm on wheels,
It was so, it had to be probably raised up an inch in ride height. It was so full of dirt, it was crazy.
Every little bit of dirt we can get off of that all the way to the process into the booth is gonna help that end result of the paintwork.
If you're pulling off these world-class paint jobs, the operative word is meticulous. And this guy's got that.
It's like washing the car 20 times. And we're ready to rock.
Just like I step into my shop and start working metal, this guy steps into the paint booth and it's showtime.
This is one of the first big canvases that I've shot with the whites. So I was excited to see, because white shows everything.
The main thing for me that was revealed was how you get a surface this big to have an even coat of paint. We got the van painted and let it cure. I'm excited to check it out. Aha.
There it is. Opening the doors, the van looked great. I was pumped. Ian was pumped.
It did totally mellow out. I thought it was really glossy, but that's perfect. This is exactly what the van needed. It's a perfect finish. This thing is looking clean. Kind of makes it look easy. I'm gonna bring in that Ranchero and see if I can't do something about this good. Rich was kind of wondering what I was doing with a stock car, but showing him what's going on underneath, he understands.
If Ian's been under a car for a couple weeks, there's something trick going on, for sure. I looked under there and that suspension looked like it was set up for the track. I was blown away. I'm just like, man.
Rich recommended I put a sealer on before the top coat just to keep everything separate, keep the automotive paint away from the old base coats. I picked out a color that I think Bill's really gonna like, and I'm excited to paint it. What I'm doing is pretty tricky. I got the idea of using this base coat that has a pearl in it. It's a metallic finish. By putting the vintage clear on it, it's gonna kind of make a frosted effect.
We're knocking projects out. We got the van sitting here, we got the Ranchero sitting here. It's a great journey with Ian every time.
I didn't tell Bill when I was returning or what I was doing or what color I was painting it. I took it up to his place. It was like a surprise reveal. Howdy,
Wow,
I've returned.
very cool. This is the cool finish. Very similar to what you did on the big truck.
Well, I knew how you liked that, yeah, and that's the thing.
Wow, Ian, that's just great. I knew that how hard Ian worked on this thing, and the body was so straight and it looked so nice. Ian did a perfect job.
I was relieved. Kind of took a chance on this. I didn't tell him what was up, but when he saw it, he really liked it.
Beautiful.
Bill was happy to see the Ranchero, but I could tell all that was on his mind was getting this van ready to sell.
I think I have somebody that's interested in buying it. So see if I can set that up and sell that, and that'll help fund wherever else we're going with this.
Bill wants to get this van done. There's a ton of work to do, so I gotta get on it. Paint on the van is perfect, so it's back into the interior. This is what it's supposed to have looked like about 3 weeks ago, before all the rust and collision issues. It's supposed to be a simple flip, and as usual, it's more work than we expected. Just to reestablish where we left off, threw a milk crate in the truck, put the seat top on. It's the way NASA does it. We touched a couple critical ideas about the interior of the van, and that was these 2 bench seats and a table. The rest is up to me. The whole idea with this interior is that it's modular. You're gonna have these seats, but in the end, if you need more room, they just unfasten and you can put lots more stuff inside. I keep calling these seats, but they're actually storage boxes. There's gonna be a face and 2 end caps. The lid will hinge up. So you have this open span here to just throw your fishing gear, surfboards, anything you need. Got these aluminum piano hinges from Industrial Metal. I'll put 2 pins that'll keep it indexed when it's shut. That way they just won't be flapping around when you're driving, but that's the story. Come on. Inspect the welds. Gonna give it the white glove test, like Rich Evans. That's not helping. One of the main things I think would improve this van is just to get it quieter. I got this stuff from Eastwood. It's a sound deadening mat. It's kind of like a giant rubber sticker. The whole idea with this van is that it's a giant tin can, you dig? So when you put this stuff on there, right? The van's a rockin', don't come knocking. I got some work to do before the van's ready for Jack, but I'm glad that he liked my ideas. I'm setting up the headliner in the van, and there's a million ways to go about it. The plywood is just a surface that you can attach something to, and that's really how I start off all the headliners I've done. My whole task here with this van is to make it look as cool, as creative as possible without breaking the bank. So you could go to town and stitch on this headliner for a month. I think I could do something in an hour and a half that's gonna look just as cool. So, all the interior upholstery panels are going to Jack, but the headliner is not. This is gonna be the headliner, a 6-foot reed fence with natural finish. My plan here is to take this fence and stick it on the roof and make a nice headliner out of it. I just set it up so there's an even foot hanging off each side of this 4-foot table. I need a 5-foot piece, so I'm just gonna cut 6 inches off each side, and that'll get rid of all these crazy ends. The big challenge in this whole headliner is just the size of it and the fact that it's upside down. I've never done this before, so I thought staples were gonna be a good idea. It's always harder than it seems in your head. Shooting it into the frickin' metal. That'll hold. I was stapling into the metal cross member in the roof. There's no way these were gonna hold, but once I moved over a few inches, stapled it in the right spot and started to work. There we go. think it's gonna be okay. Yeah, these wires are very strong, so ultimately I'll put about 10 bazillion staples in here. It's like Tiki Island in here. This is oversized, so I'm just gonna kind of creep it forward and trim as I go. Once I got the thing really stapled up to the windshield, I could tell it's gonna work. I'm really liking the way it's laying out, and my plan of stapling it up is it's gonna happen. Okay, now I just trim the shrubbery. A little yard work, get the rest of the headliner in. How can you not like this? I mean, if Bill has something to say about it, I think it's gonna be, what a great idea. I'm surprised I didn't think of that. Getting this interior headliner in is the first step in the finished look of the whole interior concept. This bamboo fence as a headliner worked out pretty darn cool. Surf City, here we come. But today's gonna be a bit of show and tell. Bill's coming by, he hasn't seen the paint job yet. He's bringing a friend who's a potential client. Maybe somebody wants to buy the van.
I probably haven't seen the van for about 2 weeks. Came down expecting to see the paint on this, and I came in the door and...
Good to see you, sir.
Wow!
A little more progress than what we saw last time. Yeah, we painted it. Right off the bat, I could tell that Bill was pleased. He knew what this van came from, and seeing it clean, painted, he was really happy.
Just very, very nice.
It's got a bamboo roof, too.
Yeah, that old fence worked out all right. It was a bamboo fence.
Really?
Yeah.
Walking in and having it open, I could see the paneling, I could see the roof. I really dug the bamboo roof because I think it's gonna be a cool theme, you know, kind of from the 60s, it's old. And I'm glad to be able to have a little sneak peek before it's done, too, because I can see how it's kind of being built.
I wanted you to see this when it's in the middle of its reconstruction.
So to appreciate it when it's all done.
Yeah. Jess is the brother of my son's wife, and known him for a long, long time. Really good guy.
We had a family get together at my house, and Bill showed me a picture of the van. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool.
He's seen third hand the projects I've done with Bill. The guy's a fan, and he wants some of what we got.
On any Sunday, the classic motorcycle movie, this is like the type of van that Mert Lawwill had, and he used to, I mean, he traveled all around the country. California to Ohio, straight, with another driver taking turns, and he'd have his flat trackers in the back.
Well, I don't see why he couldn't do it with this one.
I know, I think it's very utilitarian. I have a normal job, but I'm also associate editor for Ultimate Motorcycling. So I'm kind of the dirt guy on staff, but I have fallen in love with all kinds of motorcycles. I like cars that have motorcycles in them better. I have a dirt bike in the back of my truck, so let's wheel it in and see if it works.
I guess Jess's main concern with this is, can he haul his dirt bikes with it? He's really into the motocross scene, and if the van doesn't carry his dirt bikes, it doesn't work for him.
Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that.
Fortunately, his motorcycle rolled right in.
So now I have to buy it because the bike fits, huh? I love this thing. I love the concept. I like how it looks. I like the idea of it going forward. The fact that, you know, you got the shag carpet, you can sleep in this thing, you can stow things in here, and, you know, best cars on the road have motorcycles inside. So that's, I mean, you can put a motorcycle in here.
If I can make a deal with Jess, it's still in my family, and I'm good with that.
So you guys pretty much sold me. Now I just need to sell the wife on this.
I don't make this offer often, but you signed today. You could take the dog, too. Everybody's happy with the progress of the van, but I gotta finish it. It'll just be as wide as the van. So I'll cut it off right there and weld it on, so it'll just be complementary to this center detail. Like everything else, did a mock-up, held the tube, looked at it, kind of thunk a little, and I came up with this dimension. I just put end caps on the tube and sanded them down nice. And that's the story. Fender pulled a bunch of scratches all the way through it, so I had to smooth all that out. But see, the end caps look super clean. It's gonna be all right. I'll set up a little blast shield so we don't ruin the fresh paint. But the whole concept with these bumpers is not like off-road Thrasher tube bumpers. These are just little details that make it look like it's a finished piece. These are a little more artsy than your typical utility style bumper. You know, you say tube bumper, you think of one thing, but these are just cool little Nerf bars, end caps, sanded out nice. It'll be a clean look. Pretty simple, right? Looks super cool. That took me about 1 hour to do all 4. I really like the finish that the sander left on these tube bumpers, so I'm just gonna clear coat them. I'll probably paint the brackets black so they look like they're floating. See, the whole thing here was like you had this big, bulky, squared-off bumper. Now you're just showing off the shape of the body. And that's pretty cool. It's crazy. I always say that the engineers had their own plans and then they got covered up. The rear of this van proves it. The surround for the license plate is this awesome little detail. It looks like something that's custom, and they put this plain stock bumper over it. I don't even know how this happened. It was a Zen moment. It just said, become, and they became. It was like I was a vessel. I was just a portal for this divine energy. You see what happens when you open yourself up to that. You got 2 nice bumpers. This is what we got. We got some Krager.
Oh,
It's like a classic style. You'll see the center cap is really neat.
that's gonna be like night and day on here, right?
Because really, that is the look of every vehicle. The paint's there, it needs wheels. And this is the icing on the cake, the 3-spoke.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the Krager rims just because they're that classic style. A cool classic look. It's a little different than their standard SS, but they have the cool spinners just like them. 3-spoke knockoffs, chromey, wide rims, they're looking good.
It just keeps getting better and better.
You know, you said the only way that this van could look better was if you were sitting in the front seat. I think if you sat there, it would lower the nose just right. Why don't you try that out?
Perfect.
It was really good having Bob here. We finished up a lot of loose ends. This van's good to go. Oh, man. I think all you gotta do is give Bill a deposit. It's yours. It's perfect. I got a call from Bill this morning. He's kind of in a panic. I guess the Ranchero won't start.
A carburetor, I understand how they work, I know how they work. That would have been easy. But we didn't take the easy route. We took the let's get techie and get the new stuff.
Today, Ian shows up and hopefully we're gonna get this thing going.
All of these components are installed. It's looking good. Turn the key and there's no fuel pressure. The fuel pump is turning on every time. There is fuel directly to it. The only thing I can think is that the polarity is reversed. Well, I see something, but I can't verify if it's a plus or a minus.
And this stuff's hard to see. Gave Ian this little mirror and he got in there. And
Yeah, that's a minus. Well, just tap the key and see what happens now.
There it is, got it.
so the wires got reversed on the pump? Is that what went on with that?
But it sounds like
Yeah.
the problem is remedied. It's always something. I've done it wrong 10,000 times, and that's really it. You just got to rethink it, go back, and sometimes, reverse things.
So according to you, Ian, it's ready to rock and roll?
Aye, Captain. We are prepared for ignition.
I'm happy to hear it run. Running good, I wouldn't say that. It's not doing that.
I saw this coming. This car's been sitting for more than 6 years. I'm just holding it together, I'm turning dials, ringing bells, blowing whistles, the whole 9 yards. Bill's looking at me cross-eyed, because all he hears is this clunking, chugging engine and smoke pouring out of it. There is a bit of human error in everything. So the smoking resulted from me spilling oil all over the heat wrap on the exhaust, and the timing was set incorrectly. All right, fired up. Once we remedied both of those, the thing ran like a brand new car.
With Ian, he's always got some tricks up his sleeve, that boy does.
There's a few more things to wrap up. This Ranchero's almost done. I can't wait to see it on the road.
the Falcon's all done. Ian's got it all dialed in now. And I drove it today, and it is unbelievable. Runs perfect.
The Ranchero is dialed in tight. We got the fuel injection working perfectly, took it to the alignment shop. Bill was looking to get this Ranchero back on the road, right? I got it back in a big way. He is all charged up, and this thing hauls.
The thing handles like a slot car. You turn it, it turns. You would not know it's the same car at all. Nothing about it feels the same. It's like a new car. It's everything and more than I expected.
From the onset, everything about this Ranchero was top notch. You look at it, and nice car with rims, right? But I love the suspension, the way the thing handles, it's a complete transformation.
I'm so happy that we didn't just do my way with the shocks and this cut springs and what have you. This is an over-the-top deal, but the car is over the top now, and it's perfect. I love it.
Not only did we get the Ranchero complete and looking good, I got this van wrapped. This van was a way more ambitious project than I thought it would be. First, we had the issue with the nose, the collision in the nose. It had to look nice, so it just escalates.
Ian did his double work, as always, and it's really nice.
Brought up to Bill's, and just as I'm showing Bill the van, Jess shows up.
Holy cow.
See you again.
Yeah, good to see you, Ian. Hey, Bill. When I first walked up and saw the van, I was just kind of blown away. It looked perfect. Look at this. Wow, these wheels are awesome. The first thing I saw instantly were the wheels and the spinners on it. That totally set it off. And you got the bumper in here?
Yeah. Yeah, I used the stock bumper brackets, and I just made some tube bumpers for it.
The details that Ian did on the bumper and the mesh on the front end, it just everything kind of ties together.
He really loved the bumpers and the rims that I chose, but it's all about the interior. Yeah, so I had the upholstery guy get down on it. So
Oh my God.
a little nicer than it were.
Oh, this is amazing.
When I opened up the doors, it was just like, you know, opening up a treasure chest, right? It looks like a plain white van on the outside, but the interior is all fitted out. It's deluxe. We put curtain rods in there.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So this is the Pendleton
Yeah, the
flannel?
authentic flannel.
The inside, that really blew me away. The upholstery with kind of that diamond tuck and the buttons on it just looks perfect. Yeah, and everything works together with, you know, kind of the bamboo roof and the curtains and...
I think he was a bit in awe, actually, because of the transformation of it.
Wow. This really turned out way more than I expected. The interior, for sure. Because the exterior, I didn't see the bumpers and the wheels, so bumpers and wheels totally show it off. But the interior, this thing was just gutted, right?
There was nothing in it.
There was nothing in it. It was just a little sample fabric.
Right.
So I'm really impressed. I can't wait to take it to the beach. Let's drive it.
Good, let's do it. Let's close the doors up and jump in there and fire it up.
Oh, and we're off. So looking at the van from the outside and the inside and kind of being a spectator is great. The aesthetic is totally there. It's everything that I want. But it's not the feel of driving it. And so once you drive it, I was sold. Having that really big windshield, I mean, it's kind of like a bigger view of the world. And you're sitting up front, so you're in it. You're not behind it, you're in it. You know, elbow out the window. I mean, it was a cool experience. You know, I've always wanted to buy a van since I was 15 and a half, 16 years old, never bought one. Everything's lining up. I created all these little kind of tests and barriers that would have to be accomplished before I could decide whether I should buy it or not. So Bill, last test. It's gotta fit this bike.
Okay.
We already know it fit the Yamaha. Let's see if it'll fit the KTM. The final one was, will it fit my dual sport motorcycle? Ooh, it makes it. Perfect. We're in. We're in with about a ½ inch to spare on either side, and that's without compressing the forks.
Very good.
That was perfect. And then literally, I think you just throw cardboard down.
So it passed the final test.
It did pass the final test. So I've got butterflies. I really, really want this thing. It's really cool.
Jess loved the van. His motorcycle fit. He wants it.
All right, let's back her on down.
I'm very happy with the Ranchero, and I'm extremely happy that Jess is going to get the van. It's been a lot of fun.
Both of these vehicles turned out great. Bill is another satisfied customer, his client is all charged up with a new van, and I'm on to the next.